Right now at 10, Dane County is asking for public input, how local representatives are putting opioid crisis funds to use. And a fatal mass shooting at Florida State University. The latest details as a suspect is in police custody. And the state legislature investigates DEI funding. We have the results of their most recent audit. That is all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke is off tonight. We start right away with a look at your forecast. There is a chance for severe weather overnight and alert day conditions are on the way to end out this work week. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington has more on exactly what we can expect.
Sarah, southern Wisconsin, we're tracking it all while Friday afternoon has been the primary focus for the potential of severe thunderstorms. As you just mentioned, we do have the potential for severe thunderstorms even tonight. No severe weather out there right now on radar 3000. More of the garden variety, non-severe thunderstorms concentrated up towards Juneau and Adams counties, and here in Dane County, high and dry. Although we did have some showers and isolated thunderstorms earlier in the evening, and as we zoom on out across the rest of the area, much of this concentration of showers and storms right now is to the north up towards central Wisconsin. But let's put future track into motion here and get right into it as we head towards 12:30. Maybe another isolated storm or two popping up mainly north and west of Madison, then a break. And then when you tune in tomorrow morning for our morning show, Savannah will be here. Scattered thunderstorms developing into clusters over southwest Wisconsin. Those are going to move across the area between approximately 3-4 o'clock in the morning through about 8 o'clock in the morning, according to some of our latest weather models. These storms could pose the risk for some marginally severe hail. That's about the size of about 1 inch in diameter. Most are likely going to be just below severe limits, but we can't rule out the possibility of an isolated severe storm in the morning. Then the first one weather team, this will be myself and Jacob, will be watching a cold front in the afternoon. Will we warm up enough? And there's another ingredient that I'm going to talk about in Maine weather that may put a lid on the redevelopment of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, which would be a good thing. But if that lid breaks, then we could be looking at the potential for more severe thunderstorm chances in the afternoon. The very latest on that in just a couple moments.
All right, thank you, Alex. An upcoming public hearing will ask Dane County residents for input on how the county should use federal funds that are set aside to help with the opioid crisis. But it's not the first time Dane County has received money to do just that. Our Maddie Heimch has the details on the effectiveness of efforts thus far.
The blue line of this graph represents opioid deaths across Wisconsin, starting to steadily decrease at the end of 2023. And this represents the opioid settlement funding set to come to Wisconsin through 2038 in hopes of keeping that downward trend.
The numbers are going down. So that's good. Something is working.
Rick Rose is the chair of the Opioid Settlement Subcommittee, the sector of Dane County's Health and Human Needs Committee that determines where to spend the funding from the government.
Stating why fentanyl is dangerous through like a bus billboard campaign. As a county representative, I didn't feel that's where the dollars should go.
Rose says instead of public service announcements and messaging, the most effective use of the funds would be tangible services.
We know the crisis. Let's keep it real and what's really happening on the streets now.
He says while deaths are decreasing, older Black men and members of the queer community are still disproportionately affected by opioids in Dane County, and at a higher propensity than most of the country.
These are dollars that are set aside to help these people, and I think that's been lost over the last couple of years.
That's why the subcommittee is holding an input meeting where community members can voice their priorities, whether that be treatment programs, drug checking services, or sober living initiatives.
It's most effective to start where the people are, right? Meet people where they're at.
That public input meeting will take place on April 28th at 5 p.m. in the City County building.
Thank you, Maddie. In other news, the man accused of kidnapping a pregnant teenage girl from Beaver Dam made his first court appearance in Wisconsin. 40-year-old Gary Day is now facing a $2 million bond after being caught with 17-year-old Sophia Franklin in Nebraska. He is facing several charges in Wisconsin, 2 counts of child enticement and abduction of a child. He is already on probation for child abuse in Arkansas.
Court finds that defendant presents an extreme flight risk and an extreme risk to this victim and other potential victims.
The criminal complaint mentions that Franklin told police she is engaged to Day and pregnant with his baby. Day denies being the father of the child. His next court appearance is next Wednesday. Madison police officers say it was sad circumstances all around that led to the shooting death of a teenage victim and the arrest of a 17-year-old. Officers found one person shot on the ground in a parking lot in the 1200 block of Fish Hatchery Road near the SSM Health Clinics. Police say it appeared to be an accidental shooting between friends. That victim was taken to a hospital where they later died.
This was a case of people who shouldn't have been in possession of a firearm, who clearly did not understand safe weapons handling skills, and it ended in tragedy.
Police have not yet released the name or age of the victim, and officers say they are still investigating whether the 17-year-old owned that gun or got it from someone else. A shooting on the campus of Florida State University leaves at least 2 people dead and 5 people wounded, and the suspect has ties to law enforcement. Reporter Katie Wise has the latest from Tallahassee.
You know, you grow up and you do these shooting drills all the time, and it's now we experience it again.
Students and teachers scrambled when shots rang out Thursday afternoon near the Student Union building on the FSU campus in Tallahassee.
I didn't see the shooter, but I saw the kids running away. I heard some screaming. And the shots, like 3 rounds of like 5 shots, and then 7 shots. So it must have been some back and forth going on.
Officers quickly engaged and wounded the gunman, identified as Phoenix Eichner, believed to be an FSU student.
Our citizens should feel some degree of comfort knowing that your law enforcement agencies are going to respond and do exactly what we did in this case.
For Leon County Sheriff Walter McNeil, this case hits close to home. Eichner is the son of one of his deputies.
Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that was one of the weapons that was found at the scene.
This is the neighborhood where Deputy Eichner lives with her son. Phoenix was more than a child of law enforcement. He was a fixture in the Leon County Sheriff's Office, engaging in several training programs. This shooting quickly reignited the debate over gun control, with supporters demanding Washington take action. President Trump said, quote, "These things are terrible," end quote, but made his position clear.
As far as legislation is concerned, this has been going on for a long time. I have an obligation to protect the Second Amendment. I ran on the Second Amendment, among many other things.
Florida State canceled all events Thursday and home athletic events through Sunday, while the community grieves and processes what happened. Katie Weiss, CBS News, Tallahassee, Florida.
Back here in Madison, UW's grad students are speaking out against President Trump's actions. The labor union representing graduate student workers like TAs and RAs held a rally on Library Mall with other workers' unions on campus and community members. They're demanding that the university administration continue the current policy of not providing information or cooperating with ICE. Organizers say it's more important now than ever to take a stronger stance against the Trump administration's actions for international students who feel targeted. And universities here in Wisconsin were the subject of a lengthy audit, the results of which were released last week. This audit looked into how much state agencies, like the University of Wisconsin, spent on these DEI efforts. We sat down with the co-chair of the audit committee that ordered the investigation for more on what that uncovered. And he says non-discrimination and DEI are not the same thing.
I think my goal would be to just maintain a policy of non-discrimination, not stereotype people and then say, well, we got to fix this for this group and fix this for that group, and kind of keeping score among people with particular immutable characteristics.
The audit found there is no widespread standard for what DEI looks like. The committee will meet next week to debate what to do with this audit going forward. Well, next week's NFL draft will have a rocking conclusion. Country music star Brad Paisley will wrap up draft weekend with a free concert on Saturday, April 26th, after the 7th round wraps up. It is part of the NFL Draft concert series, which will also include a drone show on the 25th after rounds 2 and 3. The performance will be held at the Draft Theater next to Lambeau Field, and standing room is on a first-come, first-served basis, so get there early. Don't forget, News 3 Now will be talking about the NFL draft in Wisconsin all this week and next. In addition to Jason Wilde, Eric Franke will be joining sports director Zach Hanley and Andrew Banstra for our coverage. They will have all of the sights, sounds, and strategy leading up to next week's first round picks. And Forward Madison Football Club is getting ready to kick off their season already. The team's official home opener is this Saturday, April 19th, 6 p.m. at Breese-Stevens Field. They're going to head against Texoma FC. Now, Forward Madison is looking to add another win to their record, while Texoma is hoping to turn around their slow start to the season.
We've got some new fan experience stuff, and so we have a petting zoo, face painter, or balloon artist at every game for fans, family, kids to enjoy, and then a live DJ in-house. DJ Andre will be spinning tunes at every game.
Sounds fun. Tickets can be purchased on Forward Madison's website, starting at $24 per person. And the Overture Center has revealed its 2025-26 season lineup. It is bringing out the red carpet for a new Broadway season with plays like The Book of Mormon, Hamilton, and Back to the Future, the musical. Visitors can also handpick 3 or more Overture Presents performances for a custom lineup, including Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 in concert and One Night of Queen. Tickets to these events and more can be bought at the Overture Center's website, and a link to that is found on channel3000.com. Coming up tonight at 10, Alex tells us about the alert day conditions on the way and all those specifics. Plus, federal funding cuts are impacting healthcare advocate nationwide. We'll tell you what's at stake for local epilepsy programs. That's next.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back, everyone. More than 100,000 people in Wisconsin are living with epilepsy, a condition with many unknowns and currently no cure. The Epilepsy Foundation works to make life with this neurological condition easier and safer with things like seizure first aid training, support groups, kids camps, and more. More than 100 epilepsy organizations, though, nationwide are concerned about potential funding cuts. This is within the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the FDA, and the CDC. Our Meryl Hubbard sat down with local and national epilepsy leaders to see what's at stake.
I asked one day during a support group meeting, I said, somebody tell me something that's good about epilepsy. And some people looked at me saying, what kind of a question is that?
Looking at the glass half full isn't easy when your life flips upside down.
I had a seizure in 1991. I blinked my eyes and all of a sudden I'm in an emergency room.
John Mirasola was about to start grad school at the time. After medication, his seizures disappeared for about 7 years. But when he got his dream job, they came back.
I fulfilled my goal of becoming a high school teacher, but I had to give that up because, 25 teenagers in a room with one adult who doesn't know what's going on is a kind of a recipe for disaster.
Epilepsy cost John more than his career. He stopped driving, swimming, and biking, too.
But what got me through it, I think, was the people.
He found community through the Epilepsy Foundation of Wisconsin, and now has been working for them as a mentor for more than a decade.
I don't have to stop life. I can relate to what you're going through. Please ask me any question you want. My epilepsy, I'm an open book. I didn't used to be.
John is one among millions of Americans living with active epilepsy. But this year, organizations that aim to help people like him are on the chopping block with federal cuts.
After so many years of progress and finally starting to better understand and treat the epilepsies, we're just kind of having the floor fall from beneath us.
Laura Widener with the American Epilepsy Foundation says that federal epilepsy research and programs have seen dramatic cuts in staffing already.
Kind of step one, staff, that's done. And then now funding is on the line for fiscal year 2026.
Looking at the glass half full isn't simple, but John says despite his epilepsy, the foundation gave him a family and a chance to keep teaching, too.
It's another form of teaching, I guess. It's just not to a classroom of 25 teenagers.
Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Meryl. And if you'd like to support the Wisconsin Epilepsy Foundation, please join John, myself, and others at the Madison Walk to End Epilepsy. It's coming up soon, Saturday, May 10th at McKee Farms Park. You can register at epilepsywisconsin.org. And in the weather now, there could be some severe weather coming our way, alert conditions as well. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington has the details. Alex?
Sarah, southern Wisconsin right now, where are those showers and thunderstorms? In our area, the most concentrated area of showers and storms, Juneau and Adams counties, and these are garden variety, meaning they're not severe, not expecting these storms to become severe. We're watching other storms, though, developing off towards the south and towards the west. No thunderstorms right now in southwest Wisconsin, but showers are starting to pop up, and these will probably pop up into some additional thunderstorms. Here in Dane County, high and dry right now, but that's going to change as we move a little bit later into the overnight period as more showers and thunderstorms come out of Iowa that have been severe, that have been producing large hail and confirmed large and destructive tornadoes. Now, we're not expecting any tornadic activity tonight, but large hail is something that's certainly not out of the question. To put future track into motion here, doing a good job showing the showers and storms north of Madison through midnight. But as we head towards 3-4 o'clock in the morning, those storms in Iowa, clusters of them coming out of Iowa into southwest Wisconsin, Grant, Iowa, Lafayette counties, right around 4 o'clock in the morning, and then they move across the rest of the areas. We head towards 6-7 o'clock in the morning. They're out of here by the time we get to 8-9, and then we watch and we wait in the afternoon hours. Myself and Jacob will be here in the afternoon hours. We're gonna have a cold front slicing through the area from Mineral Point to Madison up towards Watertown and Beaver Dam by about noon. And south and east of that line, there's the potential for redevelopment of thunderstorms. Depending on how quickly that cold front moves through will be a big game changer as to whether or not we get severe weather or not. And I said in first weather, another ingredient will be at play tomorrow, and that is a cap, a lid in the atmosphere. If that cap stays strong enough, that may keep the thunderstorms at bay. However, future track is showing by 3-4 o'clock, the cold front and that cap eroding with more scattered thunderstorms developing, perhaps a couple of additional thunderstorms down towards the Janesville area towards 7 o'clock. These thunderstorms, if that cap erodes out ahead of that cold front, could produce large hail, damaging winds, and we can't rule out a couple of isolated tornadoes. And we will be keeping a very close eye on the position of that cold front. And that's why we are calling this period, especially Friday afternoon, alert day conditions, although we could have an isolated severe storm as early as Friday morning, and Savannah will be here tomorrow morning as well. Wind and hail are the greatest threats across southern Wisconsin, with the greatest threat south and east of Madison if that cap again breaks for additional afternoon storm development. Hail, strong winds, can't rule out that isolated tornado in the afternoon. And this shows that picture here again, 70 in Madison, 70 in Janesville, 50s to the northwest. It's that dividing line to the south and east towards Monroe, Janesville, Madison, Jefferson, Elkhorn that stand the better chances for that afternoon redevelopment. But hopefully that cold front and hopefully that cap will hold everything off at bay, and hopefully it won't be widespread. What will be widespread, Easter Sunday rains. Unfortunately, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is looking like we're going to be having quite the soaking rain. Watch the showers behind me. A couple of thunderstorms breaking out as we go Sunday into Sunday night, carrying on into Monday. This is going to be a soaking rain for sure, with many places picking up between 1, perhaps 2 inches of rain out of that weather system. But we'll take it because we still have drought conditions across part of the area. So it's going to be a busy 24 hours in southern Wisconsin, and then a busy Easter Sunday with all of that rain. So Easter activities, I would encourage you to do Saturday.
Exactly, or inside.
Or inside.
Yeah, and we'll take
Easter egg hunt inside.
Exactly. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
And coming up in sports, Dame is out for Game 1, but why the Bucks could get him back on the court sooner than later. That's next on News 3 Now. We're officially 1 week away from the NFL draft, and the Packers have a couple big questions leading up to that. Mainly, who will they take in the first round with pick number 21? Well, time will tell for that, but draft night is unlike any other. It's when lives change and dreams come true. Lucas Van Ness got the call 2 years ago as the 13th overall pick and is looking forward to this year's class experiencing that moment.
I'm super excited for this 2025 class of draftees. You put all this time in as a kid and in college, and coming those dreams, seeing those dreams come to fruition is just nothing short of amazing. But it's a special day with your family and friends, and hearing your name called is a pretty special moment.
The Bucks received some good news ahead of their first-round playoff series with the Pacers. Damian Lillard has been cleared of blood clots in his calf and was back at practice. The better news, there was no limitations. He was a full participant. Now, Dame is still out for Saturday's Game 1, but could be back for Game 2, depending on how his ramp-up period goes. Remember, the All-Star guard hasn't played since March 18th. In women's hoops, Robin Pingeton has added another player from the portal to her roster. After 4 seasons at Howard, Destiny Howell comes to Wisconsin for her final season of college basketball. Howell started 93 games with the Bison and averaged 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists last year. On the ice, a pair of Badgers were honored by the HCA. Kirsten Sims was named the National Player of the Month after tallying 12 points in 6 games in March, including 2 goals in the national championship game, while teammate Ava McNaughton was tabbed the National Goaltender of the Month. Well, speaking of Badgers, Lacey Eden was up to her old tricks at the Women's Worlds. The U.S. up 1-0 in the first against Germany. Eden leaves the goalie breathless after finding the blank space to bury home the rebound. The U.S. would go on to win 3-0 in advance to Saturday's semifinals. And Badger volleyball will open up their season hosting the opening Spike Classic at the Kohl Center over Labor Day weekend. Friday, August 29th, Wisconsin will host Kansas, and then on Sunday, August 31st, they'll take on Texas. You remember last year, the Badgers faced the #1 ranked Longhorns at Pfizer Forum as part of the College Volleyball Showcase. We're back after this.